Inside the city, you have various types of buildings that do different jobs. First, you have main roads inside the city, and these are paved either with stone or with tarmac, Adam. You have marketplaces. Here's a marketplace with a fountain in the middle where people come and sell things, especially they come in from the outside, from the farms, and they bring food into the city and sell it in the marketplace. And in some places, the marketplaces have got galleries. In other words, they are underneath a roof as well. Inside the city, you also have very narrow lanes between the buildings. So you have big wide roads and narrow lanes as well, like this one here. Various public buildings are found inside the city. You will often find a church inside a city. For example, here's a church here. And you will find a school inside the city. Here's a school. And you'll find the merchants' hall or guild hall inside the city as well, where all the people that do business gather together. And here's the guild hall, which is also the council chambers. And the exchange, where people do business. And that's also an important building inside the city. We have the walls of a city going around the outside, and important buildings you might find around the walls are the magazine here, where the soldiers are and all the weapons and the gunpowder and ammunition, because every city, especially back in the olden days, had its own police force and little army. And the other important building in the city was the granary here, where the city's food was stored. Other important things you might find in a city are pubs, lots of them, right, on the corners of buildings, and also cooks' shops or restaurants, and you'll find these in different parts of a city as well. In many cities, you might find a theatre, and there's one here in this city. And another important building that you'd find in a city is a hospital. And here's the hospital here in this city. Other places you might find are public lavatories, like this little building here. It's a public lavatory. And you might find a prison as well. And in this, there it is there. There's the prison in this city. People didn't used to have watches or clocks in ancient times, and so what used to happen was that there would be a tall tower and a clock would be on it, visible from lots of different directions, so people who didn't have the time could look at the clock. The other thing you would have also was the place where the watchmen lived. The watchmen were the policemen, and they would be walking the streets at night. And here is the house of the watch. And nowadays we have police stations instead of watchmen. In the streets there are various things that are useful for people. Because there wasn't plumbing, you would have to have wells, and people would come and get their water from the well. Cities usually are close to a river, and here's a river running by. And this serves to wash away all the filth, right? So all the sewer pipes would come out into the river. And the tower stands in the highest part of the city here, and that's where the king and the prince would live, up in the tower and the palace in the highest part of the city. So that's a picture of a city. Here's a mill with the mill wheels turning by the river. And of course there are lots of other things that a city might have, and I'm sure you can think of them yourself.